Welcome to Timeless Reads a Classics podcast.
Great to be here.
Today we're diving deep into Anne Bronte's incredible novel, The Tenant of Wildfell Hall.
A really fascinating one.
It is, and our mission today isn't just to, summarize the plot. We want to really get into its essence, the main ideas, and, well, what makes it stick with you long after you've finished reading.
Absolutely. Explore why it's considered timeless.
Exactly. So let's jump into this story.
Okay, so right from the start, you get this atmosphere, don't you? Wildfell Hall itself.
Oh, yeah.
Brontë describes this slightly run-down, old Elizabethan house near Linden Car. It's isolated.
And the garden's overgrown. It sets a mood immediately. Mystery, isolation, definitely.
It really does. It's almost like the house itself is holding secrets.
And then into this setting comes Mrs. Graham, our new tenant, with her little boy, Arthur.
And right away, there's this air of secrecy about her. You can feel it. The local community, Linden Car, it's quiet, and suddenly this reserved woman arrives. It naturally makes people curious.
And suspicious, too. Our narrator gives us those first impressions, that she has a sort of sweet face, but a thoughtful brow. Hints of suffering, maybe?
Yeah, maybe a quick temper, though that seems more like guardedness, perhaps.
Well, there's that early scene, isn't there, where the narrator helps young Arthur when he falls off a wall.
Oh, right. Her reaction.
Exactly. She's
Yeah.
sharp at first, almost accusatory, then suddenly calm.
It's so telling.
Yeah.
It shows this fierce protectiveness, for her son, but maybe also this wall she's built around herself. She snaps back into control really quickly.
Makes you wonder straight away what she's hiding or protecting herself from.
Definitely. And the local society.
Right.
Well, they react just as you'd expect when they don't have facts.
Gossip fills the gaps.
Precisely. Speculation starts flying around about her past, all because she's reserved and doesn't fit in immediately. Brontë captures that perfectly, how quickly people judge.
But then you see the narrator start to shift his view, don't you?
Yes, that's crucial. He might be influenced by the gossip initially, a little bit, but as he actually interacts with her, often through Arthur,
Through the sun, yeah.
he starts to see something different. A kind of hesitant friendship starts.
And he begins to see her intelligence, her sort of moral core, her strength.
Right, and this completely clashes, with what everyone else in town seems to think.
And this is where we really start to see her independence shine through. Not in big declarations, but in her actions and opinions.
Like her ideas about raising children. Very forward-thinking for the time.
Especially about boys, wanting them to be raised with the same moral standards as girls. That was quite something back then.
It really was. And refusing social drinking, too. That set her apart. It showed she wasn't going to just conform to please society. She had her own principles.
And of course, this just fuels more gossip, more intrigue. Sometimes people are even offended by her refusal to just go along.
But for the narrator, it just makes him more interested. He wants to understand why she's like this, why she's so isolated. He's getting drawn in.
You can feel his interest growing beyond just curiosity. But then, other feelings start creeping in.
Jealousy, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when other men are around, like Mr. Lawrence.
Right. That adds a whole new layer of complication. Romantic tension, potential misunderstandings.
And the rumor mill just loves that, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. They twist everything she does. Every interaction becomes scandalous in their eyes.
Which puts the narrator in a really tough spot. He's starting to have real feelings for her, but society is basically screaming that she's bad news.
It's that classic conflict. Trust your gut or trust the crowd. Shows you the power of social pressure.
And sometimes you just get these little glimpses of her vulnerability, moments where you feel she's carrying this huge weight.
Yeah, like when he sees her alone with Arthur, looking sad, it reinforces his feeling that they're being unfairly judged, ostracized.
It definitely deepens his empathy.
Mm-hmm.
He becomes more determined to find out her story.
And that determination leads him to, well, kind of push things. Finding that book, wasn't it, with Frederick Lawrence's name?
That's the catalyst, yes. It fuels his suspicion about her connection to Lawrence, and he confronts her.
Big confrontations. He's demanding answers about her past, about Lawrence.
But she stands her ground, completely refuses to be catechized, as she puts it. She defends her right to privacy so strongly.
It's such a powerful moment. A woman insisting on her autonomy, her control over her own story, in a time when that was, well, rare.
And Brontë subtly weaves in the background of what women faced, then the limited choices, the pressure to marry, the danger of social ruin if you stepped out of line.
We'll even see her turning down suitors like Mr. Borum, not because they're unsuitable by society standards, but because they don't meet her standards, her principles.
Which again just highlights her independence. She won't compromise on what she believes is right, even if it makes her life harder.
So despite all the conflict and suspicion, a real connection does grow between them.
Yes, through shared walks, conversations. He sees her artistic side too, her sketching. He gets past the rumors and sees the actual person.
And his admiration deepens into, well, love and genuine respect. He respects her strength, her refusal to bow to pressure.
It's her independence that he comes to admire, isn't it? Not just in spite of it. He sees the courage it takes.
It really highlights the struggle of anyone who tries to live with integrity against the grain of society. It takes guts.
Absolutely. And that leads us to the core themes, doesn't it? The novel is just packed with them.
Female independence is huge, obviously. The constraints society placed on women back then.
The double standards for men and women, especially regarding marriage and behavior. The devastating impact a bad marriage could have, particularly for the woman.
And the sheer strength needed to break free, to seek a better life, especially with a child involved.
It's fundamentally about judging people on who they really are, their character, not just listening to gossip and prejudice.
And it's also a story of resilience, isn't it? And powerful maternal love. That drive to protect her son is central.
Definitely. The essence is really about this fight for agency, for the right to define your own life, and the importance of inner strength over outward appearances. It's a powerful, positive message in many ways, despite the hardships depicted.
So The Tenant of Wildfell Hall, it really is a profound story. A woman fighting against the odds, against societal chains, for herself and her son.
It truly is, and the themes feel just as relevant today, thinking about societal expectations, individual freedom, judging others.
They absolutely resonate. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into The Tenant of Wildfell Hall here on Timeless Reads, a Classics podcast.
Been a pleasure.
If you enjoyed our discussion, we'd love it if you'd like, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment sharing your own thoughts on this remarkable novel.